My name is Ioan Gruffudd, and I play Dr. Henry Morgan in Forever.
What was it like stepping into the world of Forever?
It's been a lot of fun. It's a sort of a unique show. Here we have an immortal character who isn't a vampire necessarily. So the mythology of the character is somewhat grounded in reality, in the sense that here he is, a medical examiner surrounded by dead bodies, trying to find an answer to why he himself cannot die. So we're trying to put a practical element on this sort of mythological character. And people, I think, have come along on that journey already with us. As much as it's a procedural show, we have a case every week, we have these wonderful flashbacks to a different time and a different era when Henry was living as a 35-year-old as he still is.
What separates this from other procedural shows, do you think?
Well, I think, I guess we're not as specific as some of the procedural shows in terms of the science of a crime scene or what have you. I think our show has a little bit more of a romantic element to it. It's as much to do with the characters and their relationships as it is to do with the case. If you're a fan of, week by week sort of top and tail, beginning and end to a story, you'll get that from our show. There's a great mystery and a murder every week. But we have this lovely serialized element throughout the show where you get to learn about the characters and their history and their past, and of course this lovely little mythological element of Henry being an immortal.
Now, this isn't your first time playing someone that has superpowers.
Yeah.
If you had to choose, whose powers would you want? Henry's or Mr. Fantastic's?
Well, this is interesting. I'm not sure if Mr. Fantastic was immortal. I'm not sure if that was ever sort of discussed in the comic books. So possibly having those powers throughout one's normal lifespan, I think, would be a lot more fun than possibly being immortal, because what we're studying in the show is this idea that immortality is an actual curse than it is a blessing. So I think I'd have a lot more fun with Reed Richards' superpowers.
All right. And what part does Comic-Con and events like this take to help build a fan base for new shows?
I think it's vital. I think every show on television would love to get a space at a comic convention, especially one here in New York at the capital, or what it seems one of the capitals of the world, because we get to interact directly with the fans. People get to come up close and personal to almost sort of touch the product, as it were. And I think that's a very important aspect of it, because at the end of the day, television shows and these type of shows are our sort of novels and comic books now. They've come to life. We all love sitting there imagining these things, and now with the power of television and CGI, we're able to put that up on screen, and the passion that comes off the fans is just extraordinary. And of course, with the power of social media now, we can spread that word out there, and we can tap into a whole new audience that wouldn't necessarily turn into a procedural show. But because we have that mythological element, I think people are sort of intrigued by it.
Now, we are a video game website, so I have to ask, if Forever was a video game, what would you do in it? Would you think? How would you play it?
Well, that's interesting. Well, I think it would be one of those sort of old-fashioned romantic sort of, you have to make a decision at the end of each chapter where you might go. You know what I mean? Those novels that you used to read. I think that would be fun. And should you make the wrong turn, because Henry's often wrong in our show. He thinks he's the greatest character in the world, but he's often wrong with his powers of deduction. So maybe if you make a wrong decision, you have to go back in time and resolve the issue back then so that the future is different or something like that.